Hi there! Join me on one beautiful evening where I was just chilling with a cool breeze, cup of coffee, some rain outside, and a bit of thunder, contemplating if I should play Starfield. I'm gonna be honest, no matter how much footage of it I see, it just looks boring. And that is mainly because I already played Fallout 4 and Skyrim for extensive periods of time. Also, it's a Bethesda game. It just doesn't work if you don't mod the shit out of it.
My downward spiral continued.
So, while going down the YouTube rabbit hole at 4 AM to find something fun, I saw this. Dragon's Dogma 2 got announced. I thought to myself, what better time to revisit its predecessor, seeing as how it holds some near and dear memories to me. I have to confess though, I already know almost everything about the game. All the exploits and mechanics. I can also do most of said exploits. But this ain't gonna be that kind of playthrough. So to counteract my extensively unnecessary knowledge, I will be setting some rules down. Which mods, which class, which rules, blah blah blah. I shall tell you all of this later. For now though, we download the game. I don't know why I like this song so much. We start the journey. Difficulty is going to be normal for now. Gotta suck off the game a little bit, pick the difficulty, and you're in. The way I see it, this is setting the expectations for a lot of gameplay coming. So we spawn in resembling a character from Castlevania, Lords of Shadows. Without the whip though, which is kinda gay, but it is what it is. While running, the dragon tries to speak to us after a failed attempt at a drive-by. Which you don't see on this footage, cause I already know what he's going to do. Because he's a giant fucking rat. He doesn't have anything important to say anyway, by the way, so I just run through it, like a chat. We have to roleplay as the Goblin Slayer a little bit, while carving a path of blood through here. You know how it is, doing some counters, throwing some barrels, and taking a nap. Until Brenda deems it fit to ruin the snooze. Nasty wench. Small bitching session here. I actually don't know what's with Capcom games and giving sleep to its monsters. At this point I'm just going to assume it's some kind of sick choke. So anyways, after clearing out these whore birds, the soldiers pop up requesting to reinforce us. So like a worried and caring leader, we make them lead the way in. Turns out these fuckers didn't want to get eaten alone, right? Completely understandable. Why get mauled by a 3-in-1 animal when you can share it with friends? Fuckers wanted me to be a chew toy first. Jokes on them though. This is where climbing is introduced. Climbing is pretty good, man. It lets you do all sorts of fun stuff, like mounting. Speaking of which, I mount the snack and I cut it off. I mount the goat and I put my sword inside. Wait a minute. I'm starting to sound like 1,000 Arabian Nights series. Fast forward a few philosophical lines that make me feel like the game is talking about YouTube. We get to enjoy witnessing the dragon again. They really be putting the dragon in the Dragon's Dogma, which lands us right in the character creation. Look, you might judge me for making a soulless redhead, however I picked it for the intimidation factor here. If you don't believe me, well tell me then, what's more scary? A soulless murdering machine sprinting towards you, or an actual human doing the same? Giving your character different body parameters actually matters for some weird reason. To sum it down, height impacts your range if you are melee. Basically, your stab is longer. Thickness and musculature impact your weight. Weight impacts how long can you last and how hard can you pound anything with legs. So the harder you hit, the bigger the chance you can force your enemy onto his back, landing him into an involuntary, compromising missionary position will enable an easier insertion in order to establish dominance. As for the lasting part, the bigger you are, the longer you last, but the smaller you are, well, the faster you recover. I dubbed the name of this swole creation rat with a nickname of Todd, in honor of the legend with 16 times the detail himself, Todd Howard. Yes, I am putting this joke here cause I modded this shit out of the game. And as I continue to play, I'm still tweaking the ENB and the mods a little bit, so I will be sharing that probably in episode 2, but anyways. Finalizing this character gets me a scenic view of a fishing village. Did you know that fish is known for having a lot of protein? However, considering how rat look, I'd say the fish in this village seems to have a cocktail of anabolic steroids too. It's a trend fish. Rat, after much time spent crafting his physique to look like one of the Hercules statues, finally leaves the gym. Not all goes according to plan, because much like third shift enjoyer, he gets blinded by the sheer power of the sun, and probably blinds other people too, cause he's as white as fat cheese, the fucker. The puny, weak, and fragile guards let us know that we have to lay our rod down. The rat, being in the gym for years while dining on chemically polluted fish, leaves him a bit desperate. So it would be no wonder he can't pay attention to military propaganda. This results in him getting distracted by the first female he lays his eyes upon. Small question by the way, why is she using me as a fucking shield? What the Rat promises to show her his guard. The flirt gets interrupted with the screaming of women, children, and men. So just like that, the big bad cock-blocking dragon shows up and lands on the pig. Surely he isn't in any way aggressive. Well shit. Rat picks up a sword and just like any other sim, he leaps to his maiden's protection. The steroids though must have fucked with his sense of self-preservation, so he gets blasted onto his back. The worm, seeing the highly stimulating spectacle, gets stabbed by a rusty sword amidst the confusion, which wakes him up or makes him horny. I don't know, pick one. He decides he will not be outdone by a peasant that eats tainted, rank fish, and that in turn he will penetrate him back. So no wonder that Rat's chest pops like a bag of chips, which leaves the dragon satisfied with his work. He starts seductively talking with the violated rat while holding his still beating heart on his claw. Also, this is some fucking black magic, dude, for real. What kind of sick tender pillow talk is this, by the way? Ah, turns out he's hungry. Well, that was a misunderstanding. Exhausted and ravaged, Rat has to take a nap. Disclaimer, this is where sex jokes will soon stop. See, I couldn't resist making them, because for some fucking reason, there's a Rule 34 of this guy, and for some reason I checked if there is. Truly, some people, including me, are upstanding specimens of degeneracy. The female that Rat protected with his brave simpery finds him on the beach. I'll have you know my vocabulary and pronunciation are peerless. Finds him on the beach and brings him home. Ah, yes, the dragon must have put a walkie-talkie in my fucking chest. Surely that's why I hear his voice. Rat needs to go and leave this poorly sanitized room. This action has a reaction in the form of walking in on the conversation between an old man and his daughter, I assume. This dialogue lets us know we are not only cursed with an unbeating heart, but with erectile dysfunction as well. That's not in the lore, that's just my logical conclusion. Since you need the heart to pump enough blood to... you get the picture. This effectively means that the dragon wasn't so sweet and tried to pillow talk us into session 2, which means Rat, just like me, is now dubbed the heartless bastard. Mandatory shit joke, by the way. He's so gangsta, his heart don't beat no more. I'll just pretend that is how it is at the moment. Anyhow, I pick fighter for now, there's a why to this, but not yet. Rat is heavily incentivized to get his heart and his virility back, because she wants that D. So, like some European stories or movies, there's always someone willing to go against a four-legged, flying, fire-breathing monstrosity. And in this case, that's me. We find out that the bench near the bench is named Quina. I would like to get closer to her, but one could say I'm having a change of heart. She is saying something about finding a way to cure me. Exiting the house, we find out that the worm didn't ruin the whole village. Just a part of it. One house. Bro, he's supposed to be a menace upon the realm. What is this shit? Anyways, I have to pick some stuff up. Which is left of the exit and down a cliff. So I land with the grace of the cat. Jaw first, earning a slight concussion in the process. Loot the place, drop down the next cliff, disturb the deceased, like in every RPG. At this point, it's a tradition. I don't need these items for anything. I'm just a wood goblin. By the way, I go run off to visit Pablos. Get the DLC item, which I can cash in and use to fund the beginning of my campaign against the Red Menace. Why do I need funds? What can I possibly do with that much money? The rumor is that enemies are weak to a rapid expansion in volume of a given amount of matter associated with an extreme outward release of energy, usually with the generation of high temperatures and the release of high pressure gases.
Kaboom!
That's why I'm bringing a few. Brad goes to exit the village. Just before he hits the gate, a weird rift pops up above a weird stone, out of which a weird human pops up. Yes, a lot of weirds there, but that is how it is. He raises the scarred hand at us. This is Rook. We'll take Rook with us because we don't need to pay or feed him. He works for free. The old man chimes in by telling us that not only does he need not be fed, but that he also doesn't feel anything, which means he won't put a shank in me while I'm asleep. He also mentions something about a gathering of soldiers to the west and that we should go there. So Rat sets on a long and perilous journey. In the middle of this journey, 10 meters later, Rat finds that someone is getting educated on the finer details of being mugged. So, an explosive gets pulled out in an effort to educate these little gremlins that I'm the one who robs. Sadly, I remain true to that statement, and the explosion nicks the guy as well. I can only take this as a successful affair because he actually somehow ended up alive and giving me his last possession. This acquires us a cape that looks like a dingy drape for the goblin. You know, if I continue this, it ain't gonna sound good, is it? Continuing towards the camp, I pick up some flowers.
Why are you gay?
Look, I swear I ain't gay. I'ma need this later, okay? Making it to the camp, I remember I did a small, tiny little fuck up. I'm supposed to play in hard mode. So while the footage of me running to camp plays in the background again, let me tell you about hard mode and why it's hard, but not harder than me. TLDR, hard mode gives you double the experience, gold and discipline. But, of course there's a but, right? But it makes the enemies hit 4.5 times harder. Now imagine getting a small, measly goblin. Hit you once for 500 HP. Yes, so hard mode is one of those challenges I was talking about. Ah yes, before I forget. Also, the resource that lets you use your skills, yeah, that regenerates 50% slower now too. Because why the fuck not? Anyways, I swiftly go on proceeding to unfuck up my fuck up, if you get the impression that I am easily distracted. I have good news for you. You got impressed upon correctly. Anyway, the same looking stone that shot out Rook tells us that to use its services we must first prove our mettle. So immediately, 10 meters ahead, there is a crisis. You can see the guards running around. I suppose this is how I prove myself. This guy looks like a one-eyed demon with a hole and a scar on his head. So, bomba here, bomba there, and we're greeted with a cutscene that shows us a suspicious, weak, puny, and green individual walking away from the scene of explosions. I don't fucking know. Going back to the stone, we get introduced with a human trafficking mechanic. See, the stone will let us recruit anyone in its dimension, but at any time, I can only recruit 2 of them. That's because I will get my personal slave pawn assigned to me. He will learn and grow alongside me. So to a maximum party of 4. Not to dwell on this, I turn back and go to Casardis. Casardis is the fishing village where the dragon performed his heart transplant surgery. Yes, I am extremely bad at narrating. Stick with me, I might even get better. I'm at level 8 at the moment. Hitting level 10 will enable me to pick between all the classes in the game, of which there are 9. We can pick our class earlier than intended, by the way. So I go back, more flowers, and murder more goblins. So after getting and making my new companion, which I made both for strategic light reflection, by the way, the DLC area opens up. Brokeback Island. You know, if it sounds familiar, That's because you are gay. Also, I met this guy on my way there. He had a nice little speech about nothing I am able to do will do any harm to the badass looking dragon. And then he walked off. So, back to the inn, sleep till night, go to pier. This is where Olga or something is. I am Slavic, so I will just call her Olga. I don't got the patience to learn a rare name.
Is that the fate you've chosen of your own will? In bitter black isle, far as sea from the cove we departed. I would ask you to explore its depths.
This is where I will be breaking the Geneva Convention, by the way. From the rabbi-infested dogs, I'll have you know, I am definitely not disabled and very accurate. Bombs and goblins. Some lad just fucking teleports here. He has that certified fuck around and find out vibe. He also happens to have a bigger weapon than me. So he's winning the who's got the bigger stick contest, you know, which intimidates me. So I withdraw immediately, strategically. By the way, going back to Olga, I am able to select between all the vocations, seeing as how I reached level 10. This is not really an exploit, because if you rush the story, you can also get to level 10 and be able to pick a vocation. However, it involves the most fun mission in the game, which is why I'm not doing it. As for what I'm gonna pick, I am a true Christian, so I am going to pick as is sin. There is a why to this, so stick a little bit with me. Each class has its shtick, whether this shtick is in skills, augments or stat growth per level, each one has something going for it. So stat growth per level, this mechanic gives you stats each time you level up. It gives stats to your character. For example, one level gives 6 strength with assassin. If I switch to sorcerer, that 6 strength will stay there. Assassin happens to have the biggest physical damage growth per level. This and the class being fun to play is why I'm picking it. This has a caveat that for magic damage I will have to rely on recruitable NPCs or player created pawns. So by the way, Bitter by Kyle is where most of the exploits for some of the best gear in the game are. This is the part where I talk about my challenges. If we ignore that I am also challenged mentally. If I glitch, I'm a bitch. Not chasing the main questline bosses, because you can do it rather easily. No spamming, power leveling or XP farming. Discipline is the only thing I will chase, but that's later in the game and for the sake of people not getting bored when I play mage or sorcerer. Have you noticed that my game looks different? So I removed a lot of the mods I had, so here is the mod pack. Also the INB I use. Small good to know shit. Be careful with the INB because there is this horrid boom effect that will literally burn your cornea off during nighttime in the game. You can disable it pretty easily though. And that's it. The gang leaves the island for now because it isn't interested in getting splattered across many corridors this area provides. During my fucking around, you might have noticed I said I collected flowers. That is because essentially all these wounded need medication and my kind beating heart couldn't watch them suffer. So I used it to the Pablos bounty board. Yeah, this thing will give us kill, do, bring escort X to the objective kind of quest. For the sake of your sanity, I will edit the ending of these, and my insanity, I will be doing most of these. Also because experience is precious. These are some of the most exciting, visceral quest experiences in any game I have ever met. I'm already getting excited. And for the conclusion of this, I will play the game as intended, so will Rat manage to get his virility and his heart back? Or will he withdraw from this grand adventure? Like, subscribe if you wanna, regardless of which I thank thee for watching. Yeah, see you when they next release me from the psych ward. Bye bye.